Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another episode of Conquerors Blade. So, today we are going to be taking a look at the Halberdiers. Let's have a look at them on the unit tree. They're actually one of the earlier ones to unlock. They're a Silver Era unit. Is all you've got to pay for effectively is the regular drill on top of the start, and then you'll be able to basically pay the 7,500 to get the Halberdiers. Should work out as sort of about 9,500, 10,000 honour to get them. So they're really quite a bargain basement unit, 3.5-star unit. So dead easy to unlock. Don't really have a rival in the Silver Era tech tree because the prefetcher pikes can't brace. Their closest thing would probably be something like the pike militia, because they both revolve around their brace abilities. They are a really nice unit. I've been really enjoying them. Took me a little while to get the hang of them. They're not quite as simple to use as the pike militia. I think kind of getting set up, getting your formation, your phalanx into the right sort of spot and being able to position it correctly is more important with the Halberdiers than it was with the pike militia. I think with the pike militia you can get away with just sort of going ham in, smacking brace and then just watching the results. Whereas these guys do require a little bit more positioning. But the damage potential in brace on these is much higher than the pike militia, and I kind of find they work a lot better in that way. So if we're actually going to have a look at their veterancy line, I've been going down the bottom line, mostly because it revolves around brace damage. You know, it's increased piercing damage, 15% increase to braced weapon damage, so three sets of 5%, that's 15%, pretty decent. The final one, increased damage down to cavalry, which is going to be really nice. This is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most, increase the number of enemies each soldier can strike by 1. That kind of effectively means that in sort of a big block brace position, when a large number of enemies charge in, almost doubling the number of hits you'll get. So the amount of damage will absolutely skyrocket, I think, when we get this. So that's going to make a real big difference. That's the one I'm looking forward to getting towards the most. We also get some armor penetration increase and stuff like that along the way as well. So bottom line, definitely the one to go for in my opinion. Stats-wise, they are not too bad. Obviously, they don't have a lot defensively, armor-wise, and remember I'm running a piercing defense doctrine. They're running sort of mid-350s in terms of defense. Doesn't give them a lot, particularly because, of course, they have no shield or anything like that, so they're very, very, very vulnerable to archers. They go down super fast if you start getting hit by ranged. And 6,500 health, pretty middle of the road. Not too shocking. Obviously, that'll go up a little bit more as the unit continues down its veterancy line. Okay, let's perhaps hop into some battles and take a little bit of a look at them, and we can kind of talk through a little bit how some of them play out, or at least how are my experiences of them so far as I've been playing with them. So we are into our first battle. Been going on for a while. It's kind of one of these maps where we just were really successful with our defensive siege and just kept taking out their siege towers, but they finally got a ram in and started to come through the gate. And I just thought, well, let's come down and have a little bit of a look. Brought the halberds down. There wasn't really anything here that needed them. Could have just dealt with it with the hero. But then we get these squires come in. So I set themselves up. They go into their phalanx formation. And they only really clip a few on the edge. But you see the sort of damage hits we get. Far, far, far higher hits than you get with the pike militia. At least that was my experience anyway. You know, some of the bracing hits were sort of 900 to 1,000. Whereas pike militia seem to be hitting around the 200 mark. So the brace damage I find to be vastly higher than the pike militia, and that's running them both without any really great doctrines. I've not got any great bracing doctrines. So anyway, so we clear those guys out down near the gateway, and I just noticed that A point was getting capped. I thought, oh god, we've got to start getting up here and start to push up, and there's just basically this unit of serfs. And I kind of screw up my placement a little bit here. You see I get them in the wrong angle. I kind of thought they might correct themselves. They did, and I finally managed to get them in and braced. And you see the way the kills could rack up super fast, and the whole unit's dead. Obviously, serfs, not really much of a challenge for any unit, but we managed to take them out. No losses so far. And then I saw they've actually managed to set up with a unit of spears on the cap. So I set up a little bit further back, but where I should be able to get the hits, and you can see we get a really good amount of damage. The kills rack up really quickly, and the whole unit dies, in conjunction with the friendly heroes as well, kind of making it nice well. So I was quite pleased with the amount of kills we're racking up, and then we start to get these little spear militia, or whatever they are, domain pikemen, domain spearmen even, and look how quickly they die. They just walk into the spears, and it's just instant death. I even leave these last few. It's just almost insta kill. nothing. There's no way those domain spearmen would have been able to push through those halberdiers, because the amount of brace damage is just so high. They're hitting them for like 1500 damage. It's just insane. It's a couple of clips and they're dead. And that is only going to be getting better. And if I could get the right doctrine for them, then they really would have the potential to be one of the most overpowered units in the tier. We just skimmed past that trebuchet barrage. Very lucky there, as these guys were kind of pushing up the ladder, and I was trying to think about how I can get myself positioned. Because we're already well up on our kills. You know, we've already had sort of 60, 70, 80 kills with these guys now. And I was just trying to block up that siege tower, so any enemy units that tried to push up, I could try and catch. But then as the rest of the team started to push on towards the enemy archers, I thought it was worthwhile coming up. We set up a unit, and that enemy hero there just got obliterated because they went into brace while he was in the middle of them. So he didn't take much damage while they weren't in brace, but as soon as they activated their brace, as soon as they made that phalanx formation, then he just insta died. He just got nuke damage from the unit, because these guys are a real hero killer. Again, in a way that Pike Militia aren't really. Pike Militia don't get that sort of amount of nuke damage. But obviously Pike Militia are a much lower tier unit and much cheaper leadership wise, so that's completely understandable. I mean, not to take away from Pike Militia, they're still an absolutely amazing unit. But these guys will nuke heroes in a way that Pike Militia don't quite do in the same. So we'd have to clear those guys out. We'd had some friendlies go down the other part of the wall and clear out the archers. I didn't really want to go toe to toe with ranged units. These guys have no shields, not that much armor and health. So when you start getting hit by ranged units, it's kind of hard. They go down really rather fast. I think I activated these. Yeah, I decided just to drop a few bombs down there. I don't think we hit a lot. We didn't quite get the kill on that hero, or someone else got him, so we got the assist. I was hoping to drop those rocks on him. So then as we come up here, we get some more. I think these are actually Pike Militia coming up. So I kind of set up my unit behind. And you see we get a few hits, and obviously in the back, and some of these against these very lightly armoured units, we're getting over 2,000 damage per pike hit. So it just gets really insane. And even though pretty much the rest of the unit is finished off by our allies, just positioning there kills off the unit, finishes off the whole unit along with the assistance, and we're still holding the A point for now. So the battle continues. I'm now looking what I'm doing next. So I'm just really been working my way up and down this wall, really. You can see we are slowly taking casualties. As I say, these guys aren't that strong, so when you get stray arrows and stuff coming through, they do start to take casualties. And we set up here again, you know, just slowly racking up kills. Anyone who basically comes too close pays the price. And this guy, he gets just in range. You can see we apply a bit of damage to him, but the halberds are the ones who really actually get the high damage in him. And he didn't really go fully into the unit. That was just a couple of people at the front. So then another fight breaks out here. We just again avoid a trebuchet that just goes off behind us. We've been pretty lucky this match in the way of being able to avoid those trebuchets. And then we get up, and you can see we start to get some damage in here against these. I can't quite work out what they are because they've got skins. I'm not sure if they're prefecture guards, perhaps. But anyway, we managed to get a nice little bit of damage in, and with the assistance of our own unit, we managed to get the kill. But we are starting to rack up some casualties from the enemy range fire now, so I decided to pull back, because it's the enemy range that's just on that little longer section of wall there. And then these little spear militia pull up. So we start to rack up some kills against them, and look how quickly our kills go up. We've just got... it's just insanity. This unit is just amazing. In the right sort of position, the damage position is so high. It just makes it so fun. And we're now well over 100 kills. I think it worked out as like 111 something kills, something like that in the end. It was just a really awesome little unit. I was really rather impressed with it. We then get hit here. I don't quite get set up in time, so it doesn't quite go right. You see, we start to, even with a very diminished unit, look how many kills we're getting against squires, which are a decent silver era unit. We actually managed to take them out, but our casualties are really starting to rack up now. We're down to 5 men. The unit is kind of diminished. And then a trebuchet, which decided to treb the building for some reason. But now a handful of heroes, high tier spear heroes. I get killed, and what's left of my little braced unit just gets completely swamped and finishes me off. But I was really pleased with that as a game. It kind of showed what the potential of those Halberdiers was. So as we push it onto our second match, it's just a little bit different, not quite as good a game, but still pretty decent. This is one of my favourite bits. This longsword, we go into brace, deleted. He just obviously used his shield charge, ran into a unit of brace halberds, and then as soon as it ended, then of course he just got massive amounts of loot damage because he just got clipped by 8 or 9 halberds at once, and all his health disappeared. It's got to be careful charging into these guys as a hero because they will kill you super fast. You've got to try and work around them, get into the sides, or you just use ranged against them. If you can get archers to shoot against these guys, they die really rather fast. So I was a little bit conscious about getting trebbed here. But quite a few of us sort of sat at the siege tower point. If I was looking, I would be thinking that might be a good treb opportunity. So I decided to pull them back while there was no direct threats going on because they weren't actually being pushed. I thought I'll throw them back on the supply point, get them to heal up a little bit. But then we start to get pushed by these guys, these spear infantry. I just start to delay them a bit with the friendly. They actually pretty much almost treb themselves, which was kind of funny. And I call my halberds back up because we've got some guys running back. There's actually some pike militia here, getting stuck in a little bit. I managed to get my ultimate to kick off against the enemy hero, which was quite nice. Then we push off, and then I'm trying to get this unit basically to set up and deploy properly so they can get into brace. I had a bit of a hard time deploying here, you see. As you can see, we finally get in and get a few kills, but a lot of the damage had already been done by our allies, so we kind of missed a lot of that. We get very lucky with that treb as it just skims over my head. I seem to have quite a lot of treble, like I'm blessed with trebs, it seems, not hitting me. We'll kill off a few of these guys here. I didn't bother calling my unit over just for a few serfs onto the siege tower. Didn't seem to be a lot of point. I just kind of decided what I wanted to do. And I was thinking, well, it looks like we've largely held them there and quite a few friendly troops, so I decided I wanted to push a little bit further along the wall, make sure A wasn't going to get captured, because we'll start a bit of pushing it if you're looking on the mini-map from the other side. And I thought, if we start to get pushed this side as well, we could soon find ourselves in trouble. So I'm starting to bring the unit up, trying to get set up on the flat. They don't seem to work very well on stairs, I don't find. So we get them set up, and this is, look how many kills we rack up here so quickly. Kill. As everything that comes too close just gets caught immediately into it. And in this sort of situation, they work so well because they're just braced, and they're using them as an offensive unit, even though they feel like a defensive. You think they should be a defensive. But you can see we were able to push up and get set up, and that basically forces everyone to come into contact with them. And as soon as anyone does, they just get massive amounts of damage. We do start to take casualties, they start to rack up, but I mean, we've really done our job. We're getting our hero kills, we're getting our unit kills, and we cleared out on point A. And then unfortunately, we do get a good caught by our trebs. Eventually, I suppose it had to catch up with us. Our luck had to run out. And that really spells the end of the bulk of the unit. And we're down to a 13-man unit now, pretty low health. I should have thought about pulling back to a supply point, maybe to get them to heal up. But then, kind of as we pull that down here, there's sort of more enemies starting to form up. So I was starting to think, well, we're perhaps going to have a bit of a hard time here. So I started to form myself up on the walls, because they're quite a nice little width, these walls. They work quite well for what they are. And as our allies push up, I decided to push up a little bit with us, because it looks like there's kind of this unit of archers. So I'm glad our spears went first, because it kind of created a little bit of a block for us. And I try and push my guys up a little bit so we can start to get a little bit of extra side damage in, which we do. You can see the sort of hits we're getting. We're getting a few extra kills for us. But that really sums up the bulk of kind of my experience with the Halberdiers. I've always kind of dismissed them as a purely defensive unit, the one that's not really that great, maybe not up to that much. But actually they are a really nice unit. For what they cost for a Silver Era unit, kit we supply is not too bad. Leadership 175, again not too bad, not for the amount of damage potential they really have, because their brace, it's like once you run into them, they're like a pike militia on steroids. Their brace potential is just really very high. But anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Hopefully this has been vaguely enjoyable. I'm going to keep pushing on. I want to kind of get onto the Imperial pikes, and I also want to, now I actually tried these, want to get onto the Halberdier sergeants as well, because those guys are trying. But anyway, yeah, as I say, that's all I've got for you. Do let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel for a load more Conquerors Blade content, and I shall see you guys all on the next video.